Well, good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, the 26th of February, day 174, I think it is. And this really is a tracker update, but it's Sunday, so we're playing around with a new system. We did a little bit of it on Friday, and it sort of worked. And then yesterday we had some computer problems. So now I've got the whole program, the software and everything on my computer, so the audio should be better. And we're on a slightly faster internet connection, even though we're at home, so that should be better. And so now, and just to let you know, I'm really here. So the finger's around, but you won't see it on the screen. And now I hit this one, and you should have the screen. Oh, that worked. So we are actually tracking now. The other thing that happens is that I've actually got a console on the side here, and I can see all your comments. So if you're commenting or if you have a question, as long as I'm looking at the side, because I know a lot of people just comment and say, "G'day from Denmark, g'day from whoop whoop," or wherever. Always fun to get those comments and so on. But I can actually, as things go by, if there's something happening, you could actually post in the comment a question. And as long as I see it or Jane tips me off, there's a question there, we actually may be able to answer your questions during the whole thing. Now, we don't want that to get too long during the week because, everyone's short on time and so on, unless there's something happening. But certainly on the weekends, it's a good chance to, when I'm going through things, is just to get some questions down and hopefully we'll see it. But it's Sunday morning, and at the moment, all I'm seeing is one comment from Jane that says it's working. So we'll have to wait and see how this goes. Anyway, so the other thing that we can do is we can pull in other screens. Okay, so I can pull in Windy, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I can swap it over to Windy. All right, and I can give you all of the commentaries on that whenever it's relevant. And I can also pull in people. So not just me, but if we've got a commentator or someone on a screen in America or England or Australia or wherever it is, we've got, jeepers, that comes up a big, someone just made a comment and it's right across the bottom of my screen. I don't know whether you're seeing that on the live. We'll have to play around with this. But anyway, it's Sunday, so we can afford to lay off a bit and just see what happens, because we don't want that popping up on the live screen every time. I don't know, it's still sitting there. Anyway, now I can't see the screen. Anyway, that's fine. So let's just see what happens. So coming down to the tracker, quite a few interesting things happening. Kirsten's getting hammered by these strong headwinds. Abelish is doing okay, closing the gap, which we talked about. Bernard Batesi has just rocketed past the Falklands. So he's actually overtaken both Goog and Simon. And Jeremy's cut the corner, which we allowed him to do. So that's kind of nice. And Ian's making progress. So all kind of good. Yeah, we've got James just pointed out that we've got an issue here. We're just going to try and change this. I can hide it. So I hide that. There we go. So that comment's off the main screen, but I'm looking at them down the side. Thanks, Adam. Charles, good morning. And Michael, loud and clear. Cool. All right. Sorry to kill your fame on the big screen there. Anyway, back to the main game here. So first thing I want to do, the other day I was quizzing about, where's the Chichester class? So I actually hadn't done that for so long I forgot. But if you go up here on all boats, you can just hit that and you'll see Chichester class underneath it. So when you hit that, it comes up with Simon and Jeremy. So Simon's now showing distance to the finish of about 6,900 nautical miles. And Jeremy about 9,000 miles to the finish. And that's projecting ETAs of the 30th of April and the 30th of May based on the current speed. But that varies, of course. If they're going slow on a particular day, the ETA can go weeks and weeks behind. But anyway, late June will be the prize giving, and that's when we hope to see them there. So if we go back to all boats, there. We can see Kirsten's got 5,700 nautical miles to the finish. She sailed about 23,000 miles, and Abelish 6,100. So he's about 400 miles. No, sorry. About 430 miles behind. Captain Goog around Cape Horn, which is really cool. 6,950 nautical miles to the finish. And Ian Herbert Jones, 9,622, so a couple of thousand miles behind Good. Anyway, so that's how you get onto the various boats. And as I said, on Fridays, every Friday, we'll give you an update on Guy, let you know how he's going, and just remind you of the links and so on. He's doing pretty well at the moment. Still way back. He's back here. He's just got around New Zealand. He went around the Bounty Islands, which is interesting. I think it's just following the weather. So he's just up around here somewhere at the moment. and doing okay. All righty, so let's have a look at here at Jeremy and Ian. See what's going on. They missed that system that Jeremy let stall in front of him, turned into a bit of wind down there. But he's doing pretty well at the moment, doing 5.5 knots. He's managed in the last 24 hours 68 miles. That's because he went down off the run line and went a bit slow in between. Ian's dipping down now, 6.1 knots and 111 miles in the day. He's got a good breeze there. That's probably blowing 28, gusting 35 or something. And Jeremy's pretty much the same. So if we pull that forward for 12 hours or so, okay, it's picking up for Jeremy. We'll have a look at that on Windy in a minute. But it's still probably around 30 knots, gusting 40. And it's all in the same direction. So the wind is building, but the wind direction is not changing, and that means the seas should be manageable. At that point, he's getting seas about 5 meters, which is typical for that part of the world. So that's all pretty reasonable, and it moves really fast because this is now there we go through to bit too far. That's near enough. 24 hours time, it's gone. So it's going to affect him for about 8 hours. It'll move through pretty fast, and the sea, will start to drop back again. So Ian's got a reasonable breeze there still. So he'll be making 5 knots. Should do. He's getting very frustrated in the calms there. If you're reading his tweets, and Jeremy will be very happy. He's now focused about Cape Horn. That's his next thing. He's got the exclusion zone out of the way. So by the time we come through to day 2, Ian's going to be frustrated again by the look of it. He's going to be down here with very light winds. And so he's being, let's just scan back a bit and see this system here is he's right in the middle of this will try and turn into a bit of a high here. It's a higher pressure than what you've got here with this low. So that might be part of his story for the next few days. I'll come forward another day and just see, he's going to get some, it's now the high behind him. So the wind's he's going to have no wind for a day, and then he's going to get slight wind forward of the beam. So he's got some frustrations coming. And even Jeremy, 3 days from now, he'll be down here just going, and then we'll start to see that thing above him. What's that going to do? No, it's moving across. He'll be right. So a bit of a mixed bag for that lot, but nothing scary. So that's kind of nice. Big news, of course. Simon and Captain Good got around Cape Horn, and it was my local time. I was tucked up in bed, so even though I got up to do some stuff, but we're doing the sardines today. We'll film that and show you what's going on, but I wasn't going to do it at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's another story in itself. And happy days. He didn't actually get up to have a good look. It was nighttime, I believe. Where are we? Yeah, if I scan back there, it was in the middle of the night for them as well. So you can see they've still got a bit of nighttime there. So Goog may not have seen Cape Horn. Simon went in particularly close. So he went in within a couple of miles. You can see on their track there. I'll just leave the... you can see that Goog started to come up, but it was actually just disappearing. Hang on a sec. James just told me I'm on the big screen now, so this doesn't work. I can't actually see the comments coming in. F and Spike, hi. Every time one comes up, howdy. I've got to knock that out. So this is sort of working, but we might need 2 people here. We've got to try and work out what's doing the... Oh, I know. Why is that comment assistant on? So we got to turn the comment assistant off. See this one here? Mm. If we turn that off, they won't come up on the screen.
No.
Is that right?
Because
no.
You do the screen on there, and you're touching this side. Show that up.
Oh,
possibly.
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway, I'll come back to the tracker. Okay, so you can see Captain Goog here came up, and it was about 10 miles off. I'll come up a bit bigger. So you can see this. I'll measure it off. There's Cape Horn. There he was. 9.57. So I don't know whether he got to see it or not. He might have seen the lighthouse. He would have seen light. When I went round, it was nighttime, but I had the moonlight behind me. But I was only about 5 miles away. It was very windy, very stormy. So Good will have a tweet there, I'm sure, telling us what happened. Simon got very close. You can see within 2 miles. And right now they're doing okay. Simon is doing 3.6 knots in light southwesterly. Did 2. That's not right. 24-hour run wasn't right. This often happens in a transition and turnaround. But anyway, and Captain Goog is showing 4 knots and did 177 nautical miles in the last day. That didn't work either. And I think that's got to do with the rumline turn there. So it's a little bit distorted. But anyway, they're both sailing and they're both having fun. And so now I need to come back here and scoot back so we can see the weather they're likely to get in the next couple of days. Sea state, by the way, should be reasonable. Yeah, they're down to 1.5 metre seas now, so they would absolutely be enjoying that. Still sailing and not much sea. Get rid of that, and we'll just progress the weather forward. In fact, I'll toggle it forward, so we'll just come through the first day. Some big winds coming. They've just got around the corner in time. And then remember we saw yesterday the northerly coming from the on the other side there. So they've got some frustrations coming here. So this is coming up to 24 hours. So 24 hours from now, Simon's going to be into this. He'll be somewhere across here, and Goog will still be transitioning. So he's still being hiding behind the land mass here, which gives him a reasonable ride, but then it gets a little bit messy. Something else going on? Jane's just coming into.
You are not showing the screen.
I'm not showing that screen. Hang on. Ooh. What happened here? We've got to hide that. I'm showing the screen now, so it was off the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, people. I'm not sure how it went there and how far you went. Hang on. It should be view the tab. I'm just going to hit this again for Golden Globe race. Is the screen still there?
Maybe just me stopping.
Eh?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, we're just checking systems. I'm pressing buttons all over the place here, and now I'm not sure whether you copied that, but with the weather, I'll just come back a bit. You can see when they get around, they've got this sort of northwesterly coming here, which will give them some frustrations because they're going to run into that and they'll be reaching away. So I doubt whether they'll be going through Stretch of the Mare. They'll be coming around there, and if we if we come back a little bit here, maybe that's too far. I'm just going to keep pushing the weather forward. This is just coming up to 24 hours from now. So 24 hours from now, that's what they're looking at, and they'll still be hiding mainly behind the mainland there, the land. But when they poke their head out, it's swinging around a bit. So it'll be a slow out, and then they've got a westerly, which is a good thing. They'll sail away from that pretty well. And there's a big shift behind them as well. That's going to give them a big kick. There's 30 knots there, gusting higher, gusting 35. But they'll both ride that out now. So that'll just push them out here towards the Falklands. So that's day one, and then that's going to ride through. So they've got a good southwester there, pushing them out, and that brings them into. Then it's going to go light, and then a swap over. So they'll be dreaming about the Southern Ocean by the time they do this. Some slight changes because now they'll be coming up here. That's a northwesterly, and it's very much forward of the beam. So that'll be a little bit of hard work for them for day two. And then it starts to strengthen but goes behind. So there's a lot of movement in the wind direction and puffs up and down. So they won't be able to rest much at all. Anyway, that's enough for there. We'll go straight ahead now. We'll look at Abolition Kirsten now. It's quite a surprise to see what's happening here. This big breeze that Kirsten's experiencing is building up rapidly. In fact, she's not quite a weather alert yet, but it's getting close to telling her what's going on and what to expect. It'll be gusting. In fact, we will, if I go back to here, and then, I'm going to come back to Golden Globe, and we'll explain what's going on here with both of them. I'll just drop back, and then I'll go to Windy after that. Okay, so right now, Abolish has been doing 6.5 knots, which is pretty good, 113 nautical miles in the day. And Kirsten's still doing 5.6, but she's altering course dramatically. She's just tacked over. In the previous 4 hours, she was on port tack. She's now come across onto starboard tack because she probably figures if she gets to the centre of this, it might die off a bit quicker. Done 75 nautical miles in the day. So I'm back on a small scale so you can see what's happening with the weather here. I'm assuming I might just kick it up one in between everything, but I think that's a better view of what's going to go on for the next 24 hours. So we're just picking up to 12 hours. You see that moves over very quickly, but there's a big puff there. So as soon as I get off here, I'll send her a quick note. and see what the strength of that is. But I'm not sure where she'll go then, because she can't go directly into this nor'wester. She'll make a decision based on that. In fact, coming back to this with that strong northwesterly, she may just turn around and run with it, I think. We got another one. Jane just said we've got another. G'day, Vivek. We've got to hide that every time it goes. Now I'm going to try something here. Comment is automatic showcase positive. Okay, so I don't think this next one that pops up is probably not going to be on the screen. Sorry to distract you with that. Now I'll go back to Golden Globe race. Okay, so I'd say she might turn and run with that. So you may see a funny report in the next 4 hours, because it's going to move over very closely. Okay, so there's a lot going on. So in the next few hours, Aberlishes doesn't change, but I think you'll see him go in a bit of a bit stronger northerly course there, probably following the run line as that goes through. He's got probably 28 knots there, gusting 35. But Kirsten certainly went through a bit. By the time she gets to there, she'll flop across to Port Tack, and she will be making a northerly course there. So that's going to change pretty quickly, I think, for her. And then still plenty of breeze, but at that point it's all behind the beam again, and you'll see her pulling away. So that's still all within. That's only 14, 15, 16 hours away. So it's going to move very fast, and we're still not even up to the first 24 hours. So that's 24 hours from now. It's all gone through. And with this breeze, as I say, she won't be facing that direction. She'll be roaring away to the north, so not too bad. Now the distances between them right now, between Kirsten and Aberlishes, is 534 miles, but that's not such a key figure. This one is here, that's the rum line, and he's only 300 miles behind. So Aberlishes is actually caught up, because you're remembering they're both heading in this direction, and they'll converge together later on. So Aberlishes has definitely taken some ground out of Kirsten going through. And if we come back and look at the big picture to try and get an idea of what's happening in the future, so that's 24 hours from now, and then we can move this along. We can see that southwesterly for Kirsten is holding, but then it's turning into a west northwesterly for Aberlishes, but that's not going to bother him. When that happens, he'll just carry out a little bit out to the northwest. Northeast rather, a little bit more, and then this high pressure system that's forming above them is going to influence everything. This is looking good for Kirsten. She'll hook onto the bottom of this, so that's still a favourable breeze. And Aberlishes is okay as well. He'll ride that. So this is coming through to 48 hours from now. So 48 hours, they're looking okay. And then what's going to happen to the centre of that high? If we go through, Aberlishes is going to go a soft patch of breeze, but Kirsten will still be sailing. And I'm going to go right through to the third day. So there's 3 days from now. Kirsten will have done about 260 miles by then, I reckon. That's about where she'll breeze. So she'll still be in the breeze. Aberlishes is probably going to have done 300 miles, maybe, by the look of that. So he's going to be getting a bit softer. So they're still going to pretty much hold their own. So I think in the next 3 days, they're not going to actually move around too much. So anyway, bringing it back to today's weather right now. And if I go back to Be Live, I can come here. We'll roll over to Windy and have a look at what's going on here. So this is Kirsten's position at the moment, and I'll just pick that up. You can see here's the landmass over here. This is where she is right now, proximate position. If we, I just want to build this up a little bit. Why is it doing that? Come on. Okay, build it up to now. So we're just looking at Kirsten's big breeze. If we look at the gust, so it's gusting. It's currently blowing 29 knots from the north, but gusting 38 knots. Okay, and the sea state is slowly building. So we've got we don't want temperature, we want waves. Yeah, 3.6 meters, so not too bad from the north. It takes a while to build up. So the sea's okay. It's just the wind, and it's all from the wrong direction. So as I say, 30 knots with wind gusts of 40. That's the real-time time now. If we roll this through as it goes over, it's gusting about 40, 42, and the wind is still on the 30. So it's not really a weather alert, but it's still quite strong. Jane's coming to tap me on the shoulder here. Is everything happening, Jean?
Can't see your mouse moving.
Can't see my mouse moving. Okay. All right. Anyway, so coming back to our tracker, and we've got it here. Not a lot more to talk about. I think we've just about covered everything, but I'll just come back here and look at the questions while we're here to see if we can't see your cursor. There's a screen frozen. Oh, jeepers, screen view is not active, Don. Okay, so we'll have to look at this. As I say, we're testing things and hoping we can get this happening. Anyway, for now, we'll go back and review this and work out what's happened. Thanks for bearing with us. When we get this system right, it'll be really cool. We'll be able to do lots of different things, but for now, we're hopefully it wasn't too frustrating. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.